If you're in engineering management, you know the feeling. It can feel a lot less like a science and, well, more like just controlled chaos, right? But what if there's a better way to think about it? Today, we're going to dive into Will Larson's book, An Elegant Puzzle, and pull out a few really powerful frameworks that can help you reframe management, from a series of constant crises into a series of solvable puzzles.
We've all heard this one. I mean, it's a painful truth that kind of hangs over the entire profession. It really hammers home that the success of a team, and maybe even the whole company, really hinges on getting management right. The stakes are just incredibly high.
And this is the core idea from Larson's work. Instead of just reacting to problems all day, what if we could see them as distinct puzzles, each with its own structure and its own solution? This one simple shift in your mindset is the absolute key to moving from just surviving as a leader to actually thriving.
So, where do we start? Well, we start with the most fundamental puzzle of all. How big should your team actually be? Because if you get this wrong, you're basically creating problems for yourself before you've even started.
According to Larson, this isn't just some small detail you figure out later. He argues it is the fundamental challenge. Team size dictates everything: communication overhead, a manager's ability to actually coach their people, and even a team's ability to handle the operational load without totally burning out.
So what's the magic number? Well, for a team that has to support a 24/7 on-call rotation, Larson is very, very opinionated. It's 8 engineers. It's large enough to make that on-call burden sustainable for everyone, but it's also small enough to stay agile and cohesive.
And that number 8, it fits really neatly into this broader playbook. See, the sweet spot for any manager is supporting 6 to 8 engineers. For a manager of managers, it's a little smaller, 4 to 6 managers. And here's a crucial point. Teams with fewer than 4 people, they're not really teams. They're just too fragile. One person goes on vacation or decides to leave, and the whole thing can grind to a halt.
And right here, you can see the trap on either side of that 6 to 8 sweet spot. If you go too small, the manager gets stuck down in the weeds as a tech lead manager, coding more than managing. But if you go too large, they become this reactive coach who's just too swamped to proactively invest in their people's growth.
All right, let's move on to our next puzzle. So once your teams are sized correctly, how do you actually diagnose their health and figure out what they need to get better?
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is the answer more headcount, a new process, another reorg? Just throwing random solutions at a problem is a recipe for frustration. What you really need is a diagnostic tool.
Larson offers a really simple vocabulary for this with these 4 states of a team. A team that's falling behind has a backlog that's just growing every single week. Treading water means they're handling the critical stuff but just can't get ahead. Repaying debt means they're finally making progress on technical debt. And innovating, well, that's the goal, sustainably delivering new value. And the absolute crucial insight here is that each state requires a different system fix. If a team is falling behind, the only real fix is to hire more people. But, and this is key, if they're just treading water, hiring more people will actually make it worse. The fix there is to consolidate their efforts and reduce their work in progress. This table is an incredibly powerful cheat sheet for applying the right medicine at the right time.
Okay, so you can size your teams, you can diagnose their health, but you're just one person. So the final puzzle we'll look at is all about scaling your own impact so you don't become the bottleneck.
This is really the endgame for any leader. Your job isn't to be the smartest person in the room solving every single problem. It's to build a system where the right decisions get made even when you're not there. And that requires alignment tools.
So Larson gives us 2 key alignment tools: vision and strategy. Now, they might sound similar, but they serve very different purposes. A vision is aspirational. Think of it as the North Star that helps the entire organization move in the same general direction. A strategy, on the other hand, is grounded and specific. It's a concrete plan to overcome a particular challenge, complete with hard trade-offs.
And a good strategy isn't just some vague wish list. It has 3 clear parts. First, a really clear diagnosis of the problem. Second, a set of guiding policies that define your approach and the trade-offs you're willing to make. And finally, a coherent set of actions to actually execute on those policies. This makes strategy a practical, repeatable tool you can use again and again.
So, let's bring all of this together. The real takeaway from Larson's work isn't just a collection of cool tips, but a really fundamental shift in your entire mindset.
Just remember, your job isn't to be a firefighter rushing from one crisis to the next. It's to be a puzzle solver. You start with the foundational puzzles, like team sizing. You use diagnostic frameworks to really understand team health. And then you scale your impact with tools like visions and strategies that empower everybody else.
And that's the real beauty of it. When you make this shift, management stops being this source of endless frustration and, as Larson puts it, it becomes a series of elegant, rewarding, and important puzzles.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. As you look at your own work, your own team, your own organization, what is the most elegant puzzle that you need to solve right now?